Want to hear about one of the coolest scientists ever? It's nearing the end of Black History Month, and I found out about an amazing scientist that I haven't ever heard people talk about. Yet there is literally a satellite named after him that launched at the end of last year, and I didn't see anyone cover it. His name is George Robert Carruthers, and he designed the first telescope to make observations on the surface of another planetary body. And seriously, it gets even cooler than that. Like, that isn't super cool by itself. First, though, I want to cover a bit on how he started, because he started very early. He became interested in spaceflight when he was very young, specifically from reading space fiction stories. His father also worked as a civil engineer, so he encouraged George's interest in STEM. At just the age of 10, he built his first telescope out of cardboard, too, and lenses he bought with money he made from being a delivery boy. He actually won 3 separate science fairs, one of which being for a telescope that he made. His father unfortunately passed away when he was 12, and his family moved to Chicago. There he visited a lot of museums, libraries, and the Adler Planetarium, which Adler seems to be the source of a lot of great people in science, I've noticed. Then when Sputnik was launched, he decided to get into model rocketry. After high school, he got his bachelor's, master's, and PhD at the University of Illinois, where he studied aeronautical and astronautical engineering while in graduate school. After graduating, he started working at the United States Naval Research Laboratory. This was where he made his famous invention years later, the Far Ultraviolet Camera/Spectrograph, or UVC. This camera was used on the surface of the moon during the Apollo 16 mission. You might think that the camera used a UV-sensitive film, but it actually worked differently. The far UV light that was collected hits a UV-sensitive potassium bromide photocathode, which when the UV light hits it, it releases electrons. These electrons then move through a potential difference in strong magnetic field, so they hit the second detector in the same location as the photons hit the cathode. The second detector was special electronographic film, that when that film was then brought back to Earth, the film was developed and then scanned through a process called microdensitometry. The result was 178 frames of film taken of the Earth's atmosphere and various distant interstellar objects, and this data was used across various fields of astrophysics, like Earth science was studying the Earth's upper atmosphere composition and structure, heliophysics to study stellar winds, and interstellar research. There are also some images taken with the same technology before it was put on the moon during its test flight in 1970 on a sounding rocket, where those images were the first ever detection of molecular hydrogen in space. He was later awarded the 2012 National Medal of Technology and Innovation by Barack Obama for the invention of this camera and how it helped advance our understanding of both space and for Earth. He also did a bunch of other really cool things. He made other cameras, such as one that took ultraviolet images of Halley's Comet and Comet Kohoutek, and a camera that was used on the STS-39 space shuttle mission. In the 1980s, he helped start the Science and Engineers Apprentice Program, where high school students could do a summer internship at the Naval Research Laboratory. Also starting in 1983, he was the chairman of the Editing and Review Committee of the Journal of the National Technical Association, which included career profiles and biographical sketches of African American scientists and engineers that were then given out in different high schools and colleges. Then in the 1990s, he taught a course to help show science teachers in Washington, D.C. public schools know how to best teach Earth and space science, and recorded videos on that subject to be shown in those high schools. He was also very involved in many different outreach programs to encourage African American students to go into STEM. He unfortunately passed away in 2020. In 2022, NASA renamed the mission known as GLIDE to the Carruthers Geocorona Observatory. The mission is meant to use UV light to study the outermost layer of our atmosphere, the exosphere, or more specifically, the geocorona. The geocorona is a section of just hydrogen atoms outside of the visible atmosphere that can mostly only be observed using far UV light, and was being looked at to see how it evolves when being influenced by solar and various other space weather, which is important for us to know for applications in satellites, communications, navigation, and space exploration. Dr. Carruthers is now in my top 10 favorite scientists. Like, just think, the first person to get a telescope on another planetary body, and the first person that found molecular hydrogen in space, which helped constrain part of the missing mass problem. It all started with making a telescope out of cardboard. Sometimes, dreams really do come true.